Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Friday, June 12th. Cash Profit Friday. Last trading day of the week. If you haven't so far, type in the word keyword for today's Cash Profit Friday is going to be space. And that's a play on SpaceX IPO. So keyword is space. And wishing everybody good luck in the markets here today. I would love to end off this beautiful week with a strong note here. All right, let's take a look at the markets. We'll start on the NQ here this morning. Obviously, don't need to probably tell you, but we obviously have been ripping to the upside pretty damn good. We had a nice rip. What was it? Pretty much. Starting at, pretty much all day afternoon, since the noon time, we had a really nice movement up. Got some more news that made the market, temporarily take a nice little pullback there. I think that might have been some profit taken there. And after that, we've just been kind of ripping here to the upside. So we've got... what on store? We obviously got 30,000 sitting above us, which has been a kind of a key level that it's kind of acting like the 25,000 number on the NQ. So we've got some key levels here on the NQ at the 29,544. We've got one at the 456, and we've got another one at the 433. So these could be some intermediate targets here for the morning time for some liquidity if the market needs it. We've got some buyer unbalanced volume areas that I gave you guys here on Discord and my Signal members. First one sitting at the 29,322 to the 29,284. We've got another piece of buyer unbalanced volume sitting at the 29.12 to the 29.172. Another piece of buyer unbalanced volume sitting at the 29.008 to the 28.971. And another piece buyer unbalanced volume sitting at the 28.721 to the 28.688. Another key level here at the 28,455. Another piece of unbalanced volume at the 28,509 to the 28,472. A little hard to see, but a prior key level here also sitting at the 28,472. So obviously on the NQ, we've got a good amount of unbalanced volume here from buyers. If we kind of take a look, these are the levels that I give you guys each morning here. This kind of breaks it down to kind of look at a nice little roadmap for the day here this morning. We do have a piece of unbalanced seller volume sitting up here. It's been here for a while at the 29,816 to the 29,785. Let's jump over to the ES. ES again, we've got key levels at the 7420 and the 7397. We've got a big piece of buyer unbalanced volume in the ES from the 7391 to the 7374. Another piece of unbalanced volume from buyers at the 7292 to the 7271. Again, this is buyers over here. And then key levels at the 7259, prior level at the 7255, another key level at the 7232. And that should be pretty much it. That if we start dipping into those areas, could be trouble. In gold, we've got a piece of buyer unbalanced volume at the 4206.8 to the 4190.1. I think we got another piece of buyer. Yep, we do. We got one more buyer band down here at the 4108 to the 4092. And then way above us in gold. That looks a little better. We've got sellers sitting at the 4389 to the 4371. That's the NQ, the ES, and in gold. That's our roadmap for the morning. ATR is currently at about 20 to 21 points. No headline news until 9 a.m. We got Michigan sentiment. Obviously, we've got SpaceX IPO today. We've got futures rollover that's going to be coming here probably within the next two to three trading days. My Ninja asked me to roll over this morning, but volume's still pretty strong here on June's contract. And if you're ever wondering, hey, when's a good time to roll over on your futures contract, the easiest and best site that I've found is bar chart. If you go to barchart.com, you can, you just want to go to the ES, you go to the ES or the NQ, it doesn't really matter. But what you're really looking for is this number right here, is the open interest. So if you look at the open interest for June, which is what we're currently in, we're sitting at 1,900,000 contracts. If you look at the volume for September's contract, which will be the next one that we roll over to, it's only at 300,000. So it's about 20%, maybe a little less than 20% of the volume that's sitting in June. So once this number flips, where you start seeing more open interest on the September contract, that's when you want to start making that rollover. And I do just kind of keep that site up during these next couple of days, and start really looking for any clues as to when that rollover might occur. And then one other thing to keep a note on. So my daily bands, my weekly levels, my signals, everything that I pretty much base all my trading off of, which is unbalanced volume. When we get the new contract rollover, majority of these bands will then get reset, okay? And you can say, well, Rob, why? Isn't the volume going to be at the same area? Well, on the weekly bands, it's not so bad, okay? It's not so bad because there might be, sometimes there's a difference between maybe 15 points, right around there. So for the weekly bands, it's not as bad, but when you get into our daily bands, which is more of our scalping bands that we take here every morning, or the signals that I provide to my signal group, those are a lot more kind of detailed, granular, down to like, you know, really getting down to like the point and even the ticks. So when we get a new contract that comes in, the levels of the new contract that we roll into compared to the previous one that the charts are mapped off of start to become a little different in values. So the bands, the exact levels, they will start to change, and for that reason, I then reset my signals, I reset my bands, and we then kind of let price action develop. So, and that's the reason why I don't generally like, the first week to 2 weeks in the contract rollover period. Granted, last rollover wasn't so bad. I think it was actually pretty profitable. So I'm not saying that it's something that we can't trade from, but it does make things just a little bit more tricky. Adam, New Journey, Paul, Prop Trader, Sneaky Zeke, TradeX Motivation. Good morning. Aggie, good morning. J Loves, good morning. Paul, Todd, Enki FX, good morning. Keith, Steve, good morning. I did not buy into the IPO. I am kind of take just probably a week to kind of dissect to see what the market, how it reacts. Now, obviously, I know that could hurt, but kind of look at like round about 70% of IPOs that come out, generally that first you get that first pump and then it starts to kind of stabilize and then usually dips. So my son bought, I think, well, he put in his request. I think he want to say 7 shares, 6 or 7 shares. And he's using money from his prop payouts, so good for him. So Wango, good morning. Adam, I think I got you in there, but good morning if I didn't. They're looking at about 100, and I think they came out at 136. Or they didn't come out, but I think that was the projected price, 136. I don't think this is out yet, but no. Morning, Kevin. Sneaky, good morning. All right, so let's start seeing what is what here. Nordic, good morning. Let's see how the market reacts here at this key level at the 29,544. Has used it as, kind of see here, kind of bounced off this level, finally broke through it, retest, came back down. We've just been kind of bouncing off that level here this morning. So kind of see if that continues here. Christine, good morning. You guys enjoy the stats, so here are so far the stats for June. Again, these are just my funded accounts, all my PAs, Tradeify, Lucid funded accounts. So we're currently sitting for June at about 9,600 in profit. We're at about a 1 to 2. We were sitting at like a 1 to 2 and a 7. Let's say 1 and 2.5 risk to reward. But sitting at a 1 to 2, I'd like to get that number up just a little bit here, and then also want to get this trade win rate up for June for sure. I'd like to see this sitting at around, if we can get this up to like 60-65% here for the end of June, that would be fantastic with that ratio down here. And then these are what the days have been looking like. So far good good start to the month, but always room for improvement. All right, going to start a little poll here. I want to know if you guys think on the 2-minute. We've been watching the 2-minute chart a lot lately. So if the 2-minute ATR today will be over or under 60 points. Let's see what you guys, what's your thoughts? We've been ranging for sure over 60 points the last 5 trading days. We've been seeing 70, 80. Pretty consistent. But let's see if now we obviously, I think there's been definitely some momentum behind the Iran conflict. You know, unless something comes contradictory to what we've been hearing over the last 12 hours, which of course can absolutely happen. Maybe the market's kind of already factored that, has factored that positive momentum into the market. We really just have Michigan sentiment at 9 a.m. Obviously, we've got the SpaceX IPO, but I'm going to take a ballsy side of it, and I'm going to say that we're going to cap out at 60 today. I think we'll be under 60. Maybe we might have like a few minutes of, maybe an hour of high volatility where we might get over 60, but I don't know why, but I'm kind of feeling like today might be the day where we kind of sit in that 40 to 55 range on the ATR. Now, the only thing that's you know, we're currently sitting at 21, which is about double, a little less than double than what it would normally be at. Typically around this time, we're sitting at about 10 to 11 points of ATR. So we are still double, but we've been double. We've seen triple in the pre-session. All right, so most people are over 60, which I get. I think it's a good, it's probably the safe bet. I'm going to go against popular opinion on this one. I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about the IPOs. And he was mentioning all his bad past experiences with investing in the IPOs. He's had some doozies, like he put some pretty good money into StubHub, which kind of flopped on him. What other one did he was he talking about? He lost, like, I think over half of its value. And then he's like, and of course I ended up buying getting into the Reddit IPO. He only ended up buying one share. He bought the share, and it's like it's gone up like 500% since the IPO came out, which I don't really know the Reddit business model. I don't know what how their revenue source is. I'm sure there's some kind of tier membership or something. But we kind of got a laugh out of that. Yeah, so ATR is just the average true range over a certain value that you put in as your look back. So my look back is 14. So what it's looking at is it's looking at the last 14 2-minute candles and seeing what the average range is for those candles. And it's a good measurement of, you know, there's probably some better ones, but it's a good measurement of volatility. So obviously, when if we just take a normal market, I mean, I don't know what's kind of normal today, but generally speaking, from like the market open to like about 10:30, you're typically in like that 40 range ATR. I would say it's pretty healthy. When you start getting into like the afternoon, so like 1 to like 3 o'clock, typically ATR is going to be dipping down into like the 19, 21. And then in the overnight session, so 5 p.m. to the next morning, Usually that's going to stay between like 9 and 11 as the ATR. That's just kind of been what the average is. Now, if we look at the last, I mean, shit, even month, four weeks, but specifically over the last week of trading days, those are just through the roof. And it's just kind of, it's obviously catching up with the volatility. This looks kind of dumpy here to me now. Like this movement is manageable. I mean, that was a, you know, that was a decent candle, kind of pulling out of a small consolidation area here, right underneath the key level. It's a 10-point move. You know, I mean, that's kind of the average. It's kind of like the norm. You know, we get this during the New York Open, and that turns into 80 points in a heartbeat. And then the market's got a great, has a great way of tricking you by staying in this super high, in this like super high ATR. Let's say that we're constantly like in the 70 ATR, and then news starts to kind of die down. And you've got futures rollover coming up next week. And, you know, if you don't keep an eye on the ATR at least, or, I mean, obviously you don't need ATR. You can see it by the candles for the most part. If you don't keep an eye on it, volatility can die off. And you can still be stuck in these large targets, you know, which those targets don't become reality anymore. And the market loves to do that. This would be a good retest here of this key level here. Nice flip on the 60. Nice little flip right there on the 60. But I'll be honest with you, I'm probably maybe in the minority on this, but I'd love to see volatility kind of normalize again. You know, the way I view volume, and for those of you guys that, you know, see my daily scalping bands and levels every morning, you know, a typical good morning on a normal market, we'll see maybe 1 or 2 of these bands being tested. Okay. We're in an environment right now where we're seeing 5 bands getting tested. We're seeing multiple weekly bands being tested on the same day. Like that's unheard of. I mean, besides this last couple of weeks, I've never seen that before. So it's for me, the normal market's a little bit easier just because you know, we'll range a lot more, you know, and it's these type of ranges that where I am truly the most profitable. That's where I see my highest win rate. That's where things really start to kind of look up. But like when we get rippers, you know, or we take these huge rips that, you know, these are new bands, so these are not, price action hasn't gone through these bands. They haven't been tested yet. But when we get like movements so impulsive and, you know, and we're talking about like 200 points on like a 5-minute candle, the opportunities for me are just not as, they're not as plentiful. Well, I should say they are very plentiful, but they're just not very super A+. Because what you really got to understand too in the market, get some, is when we do this, you lose. There's a big inefficiency in the markets. Okay. There becomes this huge inefficiency in the markets that the market makers do not like. And when price action moves so quickly, it's generally because there's very little volume. There's low volume. Oh, lost win. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to say low volume on these types of big days, big ranges. So when there's low volume but huge moves, when we get retracements to where my eye goes to find my unbalanced volume, they're not as strong because there's not as much volume as there normally is. If we're in a normal market environment and we start, you know, breaking structure, and I really want to see this move right here, this is my bread and butter of my trading style, is finding this unbalanced volume. And in a normal market, I know it's going to take a lot of volume to make this type of move. What we've been seeing lately is very little news, very little volume. A headline comes out, you get an impulsive move, the market makers step out, there's no efficiency in the market, and you get these huge rips. So for me personally, it's just not, it's not the best environment. You know, and the kind of, I think what the crazy thing is that when, you know, we start looking at these numbers, which again have come down just a bit, but if, you know, for me risking $69 or $70 to make $151 on each one of my trades, you guys have been seeing that I've been, even in this volatility, still trading with a stop loss on an average of 10 points. Some 8, some 12, some, but most of it, I would say the average has been about 10 points. So, and that's difficult. That's honestly super difficult to do. It's not easy. Now, when the market's normalized and we get a nice flip, you know, it'll become a really beautiful thing. You know, unless this becomes the new norm. Sorry, let's get into this chart. So there's a nice little flip there. And like, this is a good example right here of why I do like these footprints and how it can help you reduce your risk. So we've been talking about this key level at the 29,544. I mentioned to you guys right in this area right here that this looks kind of dumpy to me. So you could see that the market, you know, moved back. We came back up for a retest, and I said, okay, let's take a look at what happens here on this retest. What do we get on the retest? Well, we get exactly what our entry confirmation is for a short. We get a red negative footprint candle with positive delta. So that to me is a flip. There, you could take an entry right here. You've got your stop sitting right here. And now you've controlled your risk on this stop loss and try to maximize to at least 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 risk to reward, which you get. This is 1R right here. This is 2R. This is 3R, almost 4R. Actually, I would bet that this is at least 4R right here with a 1R type of risk. And then if you want to get it, if you want to get even saucier, which is how I trade it, if you go down to the 30, let's see, I believe it was this guy. Let's see, it was at 735. 735, yeah. So you got the exact same thing on the 30, which is sitting right here. You get positive delta, red footprint. Now you've reduced your risk to about 8 points. That's your risk right there. And I have had so many people DM me, email me, come on chat, and have said the same thing, that the footprint confirmation, the footprint entries have changed their trading around. Because in theory, it only really makes sense. You know, and the market bubbles will confirm it many times, where when I see... when we see like a candlestick, let's just say we get, you know, like a candlestick here with a huge wick up here. This closes red, and you get this big green market bubble up here, and when we start pushing down, that's all trapped buyers. Okay, that trapped the buyers. The flip shows you the exact same thing. So when you get a flip, like the one that we were just talking about. Let's see if I can go back to it. Oh, I was on gold there. Like on this guy right here, which we were just talking about. What is this telling us? This is telling us that buyers were pumping in volume into the market here to get this movement going up. 37 positive delta. They were still trying to get, pump up this volume here, so they were 24 positive delta. But even with that pressure, even though that the volume, the delta on that candle was positive, the market was still able to push this down. And that's telling me that you obviously have buyers that are trapped right there. So that'll show it to you. The candlesticks will show it to you. You know, the candlestick will show it to you right here. Right here. And another small confirmation is you get a small green bubble right here. It's going to show you the exact same thing. Obviously, the delta wasn't super strong there, but so you don't get a delta. You don't get a bubble. But it's all showing you the same thing. Guys, if you haven't hit the like on the stream, I would truly appreciate it. We're going to be doing the giveaway at 10:30. I shouldn't say giveaway. We're doing our Cash Profit Friday at, well, it's a giveaway of my profits at 10:30 this morning. So just type in the keyword space. That's a play on off of SpaceX's IPO. And you pop that into the chat at 10:30. I will run the picker, and we'll see who takes home some of my profits. Hopefully we can get into the green today. Hopefully we can have a nice day. I'd love to have a 4K day here for this Friday. Okay, we're entering into an area right now that's got a little bit more volume than what we've been kind of experiencing up here. So again, volume profile here is starting to kind of like extend out in this area. So we'll see if that can kind of prop up the market here a little bit. Or might want to do some price discovery down to this first unbalanced volume area here for buyers at the 29,322s. I think the plus 60 ATR crowd is going to be the most likely winner. We're currently at 27 already. And we're still about 40 minutes from the market open, so it does look like it'll be another 60 plus ATR day. Morning, Tiger. And again, I mean, obviously actively looking to see where I can, if there's a possible like short opportunity anywhere in here. And the only thing I really see on the AVT is kind of sitting like right here. This guy right here is the only thing that I see that's kind of left unbalanced. Everything else they've balanced out pretty well. Even this has been balanced. So this is really the only tiny little pocket that I see, and that kind of corresponds on the bigger chart right smack here. Now, the only counter to this argument of taking a short here would be for a market to get back up in here, where we would obviously have to do something like this and kind of break through these this key level that we've already just had. The market obviously had a hard time getting through it to the top side, which would then kind of start shifting focus more towards buyers again. And you're kind of taking the first piece of unbalanced volume. So it's kind of like the first test here of the strength of, well, I shouldn't say the first test, but you'd be going into an area where, for me, buyers would really start showing more strength to kind of get over this key level. So kind of a riskier play here, in my opinion, on this unbalanced volume sitting up here. I think it's the whole reason is to use the AVT based on, because the AVT will show you very, or I think the way I look at it, it shows you what the areas of true imbalance are. So it really shows you where volume is kind of left untapped. And if we kind of take a look at the different types of AVT setups that we have here, we've got a scenario obviously here, which is the one that I just talked about, which to me looks like the best area. We've got another AVT right here. Well, this has already kind of been balanced out, right? I mean, this is based off of the AVT. You've got your value area high here. We take a short right from this area. So they've balanced out a good amount here already. You've got no AVT here, so this will already exclude, areas of balanced volume. Now you're starting to get another move to the downside, so we might get another setup here. The only issue that I have with these is, again, you're sitting at key levels. So if we break through these key levels, it's kind of starting to show some strength from buyers, and maybe not the best scenario to be looking at. So it really does kind of show you the areas where you should probably be taking a trade and where you shouldn't be taking a trade. Again, that sweet spot's always going to be in that 3 to 5. It's been hard, obviously with ATR that we're currently in, but it's still definitely doable. Bring this up just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we really are looking like we're heading towards this buyer unbalanced volume sitting down here at the 29,322s. So like to me, again, if we slice through this and we slice through this, you know, then we start saying, okay, well, buyers are now starting to, you know, they've kind of have like a footprint in there where taking a short right here would be tough, even though the AVT is going to look great here, maybe minus this wick right here. This wick I'm not going to like. And you'll probably see it on, you'd probably have to see it on the 60, but the AVT would look like something like this. So this would be unbalanced right here. Here, this would be the profile, what would look like. This is your value area high, which is sitting perfectly in between where I see unbalanced volume at. And then if we go down to the 60, yeah, 60 looks pretty here as well. Just this is the wick. So this is that wick that I was telling you I don't like. So this is an area that's going to be kind of a roadblock here. If we were to get back up in here for a short, I already know that I'm going to have some resistance right here. Kind of makes that trade a little bit smaller, but you know, and then again, we could kind of even narrow this down and say, okay, that's like your super detailed area here. Go to the end, go to the candlestick. That's kind of what this would look like. So Tiger, right now, of course, the higher you go on the range, the absolute best you're gonna see the bigger structure in the market, for sure. And I mean, it's just witnessed by just on your chart. You could just, you know, in this chart we've got about 200 points of price action. You know, you move to a 60, and now you're probably dropping down to, I don't know, probably 70. Half of it, half the points. So you can get really lost in the 60 too. You definitely get super lost in the 30. So I use my 30 and my 60 more for refinement than I do for my bigger structure. My bigger structure plays are all off of the 120. Yeah, Tiger, I'm still on. As I explained earlier, the best site to so you have for your own reference, if you go to barchart.com, just pull up you can pull up the ES or the NQ, and what you're really looking for is you're looking for this open interest. So currently the open interest in June is at 1,900,000 contracts. The open interest for September, which is the one that we would be rolling over to, is currently at 300,000. Once these numbers flip-flop, where the open interest is stronger on September, that's when you want to start rolling over. But prior to that, you do not. So like my NinjaTrader prompted me this morning, asking me if I wanted to roll over, but I did not. Now you have some platforms like TopStepX that will roll you over, and you're kind of stuck there. I'm not really a fan of that. You also have to make sure you don't have the auto rollover feature enabled, because sometimes it'll roll you over a little bit early, and then you're kind of stuck in this kind of weird gray area where the volume and price action is not matching up to what either I'm looking at on my screen or what, you know, the previous contract is trading at. Where still majority of the traders are still on. Gold just tapped into its band. May have missed it there by a tick. It's like I already know when gold does this, that's the move. You forget that noise. Yes, sat down at its key level. That's where it's rejecting from. You know, I could bet some money there was a nice flip right here on the 12 range on the ES. Did say we'd look a little bit more on the ES today for some possible trades. Seems to have slowed down just a little bit. Makes it a little bit easier than the NQ. Sure will. And I like I've been saying for the last couple weeks, you know, if you could tread water, stay in the green during this type of market condition, obviously when the markets kind of come back down to normal daily ranges, normal minute ranges, you'll see how much easier the trading really starts to get. I mean, it's not easy, but everything slows down. You know, now I have fraction of a second to make decisions. I have fraction of a second to get 3, 6, 5 points of slippage. In normal market, you get a few seconds. You get some time to make a decision. You get time to see, even after you get that flip that I'm looking for, you still even get some time there to see, okay, well, let's see if price is going to retrace or if it's going to continue. So this is kind of showing right here what you guys should be able to get this one. So like right here on the NQ, this to me is, sellers getting trapped here. Sellers stepped in again. We probably had some stops that we probably knocked out right there. So that was probably stops getting hit, getting triggered. Actually, no, I take that back. This looks like more like seller absorption here, and this most likely is going to give you a flip. So we could start on the 120. And when I say flip, I'm talking about more of a continuation here. So let's look at the 60. It's going to have to show it to you on one of these. Did not there. So this is where I would have normally wanted to see the flip right there, which is a good continuation model for me. So let's drop down to the lowest one, see if we get a continuation. So no, I don't really see anything here. I don't really see anything there. Buyer stepping in. So again, this is what we were just talking about earlier. Reason why I don't like this area right here is because it's kind of like the first test of the buyer's strength here, and I don't necessarily want to be in that first test, because for me, the way that I was already looking at it is, you know, the sellers pushed hard to get through not only this key level, and this key level. So now for the buyers to overtake these levels would show me signs of strength. So why am I going to short right here, even though, you know, everything in my strategy is telling me that this is an unbalanced volume area for sellers? So again, buyers are should see a reaction here. We will most likely see something play out like this. But why be the first test of unbalanced volume? Because if we rip, now buyers are back in control. Then at that point, I would be looking right here. You know, I can absolutely tell you that this is the first place that I would be looking at for a possible long. I don't even need to see it on the AVT. I can already tell you that this is an area. But if I look at the 120, it's going to show me a phenomenal setup from right there. This is exactly what I want to see. Nice impulsive nature to all of the candles. Nice base. This is the golden ticket right here. So Jay loves, you cannot do it on TradingView. So this that I have here, you cannot do on TradingView, unfortunately, because on TradingView you have some limitations to their footprint charts. This might screw up my chart, but let's just do this here. Volume footprint. So on TradingView, the before I say that, let me just, yeah, see, there's no, the volume footprint only works on minute candles. So if you switch down to the range candle, you won't be able to see the footprints on there. So you've got to switch it to a minute chart to actually see footprints, which would then show you the exact same thing. It would show you the same thing that my NinjaTrader chart is showing me, but with the range, which is the important aspect. We're not time-based. Yeah, Morgan, TradingView is not tick-based. It's not tick-based data, so it's not going to be as accurate as, you know, on a brokerage platform that's showing you tick data. Morning, AP. Rob, to which data feed do you have NinjaTrader connected to? So I have I'm on their live broker. I've got 2 live brokerage accounts with NinjaTrader, so I connect through them. And I also obviously have Trade of 8 and think it's really just Trade-Evade and the Ninja Trader brokerage. I had Trade-Evade with Apex, so I don't think it is with Apex, but what is the name? Is it my Tradeify? Believe it's Tradeify. It might be Tradeify or Take Profit. I can't remember now which one of the two does give you the volume plus. So it does give you footprint charts. Could be saying that wrong. That I don't think it's Lucid. I think it was Tradeify or Take Profit. But again, I mean, you know, and this is all dependent on where you're at in your journey on trading. You know, I view this obviously as a small business, kind of a side business. So for me, you know, my data feeds, my Bookmap subscriptions, there's so many actually. No, it kind of hurts to think about it, but you know, all the different types of subscriptions that we have, they're all tools for the business. So if you were running if you're an electrician, you're going to have tools that you invest in. You're going to have inventory that you're constantly purchasing. So like in any business, there's going to be monthly expenses to running that business. But if you're just starting out, that's where I would say, you know, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of the prop space right now, is that you've got multiple options. So again, what did we say? We said this is going to be a reaction area right at this area right here. That's at the 29,463s. That looked like it probably, let's see, we still haven't tapped in exactly there, but this is going to be very kind of telling, I think, here for the market. Let's see what the 30 gave you a flip. And you'll just see this happen every day, all the time. You know, it's you're gonna see a reaction where we find these areas of imbalance, and usually pretty damn detailed. Now I've already explained to you why I wasn't thrilled on this short right here. So Tiger, with the blue ski, is it blue ski or blue sky? Probably blue sky. With, I might be saying this wrong, but with blue sky, if you tell them deep trades, do you get a license of deep trades with that, or do you have to buy the deep trades platform, or do you have to pay for that subscription to then be able to use it with them? I'm not getting that. Because I know Deep Trades uses Rhythmic. Hey, Rob, it includes a limited deep chart subscription. Oh, that's kind of cool. When you say limited, how limited? Does it at least give you like the market bubbles, and does it give you footprints? Does it give you, obviously, I'm assuming it's going to give you volume profile, but I would assume that maybe not, it's not going to give you the bubbles. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. I have no idea. I'll let you guys tell me. It doesn't come with any of the specialized tools indicators Fabio uses. Okay, got you. So just give you kind of an introduction to the Deep Charts platform for like order entry and basic trading tools, probably similar to like Trade of 8. So I would say I would buy that. I would spend the money on an account just to test it out. And this is why we're not liking the shorts there. Yeah. But then with deep charts, then you're stuck with rhythmic, right? They do not have Trade of 8, which I'm assuming they're going to have to add pretty soon, because that to me would be kind of an inconvenience. I do like that speed of tape indicator that he uses. I think that's pretty cool. All right, we got 10 minutes to market open. You know what time that is for me. I will get my fresh cup of coffee, and we'll be back here for the market open. Be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Keyword is space for today. Type that into the chat. We'll run the Cash Profit Friday giveaway at 10:30 this morning. Hopefully I'm in the profits. All right, 3 minutes here for market open. And let's take a look at this little area down here that looks interesting. Get rid of this guy. I don't need him anymore. I think you proved my point. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. I wasn't even able to, damn. That worked out really nicely. I literally just put that signal in. Didn't even have enough time to send the email out, but signal got posted. Oh, that was a good one right there. That was easy to spot, man. That was super easy to spot. Super easy to spot. Oh, shit. That's funny. That's fucking crazy. Well, that would have been a great opportunity, but again, wrong timing. I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't get that right at the market open. And that area was butter. That area was butter. It's gonna probably want to go test now the 29 322s. And we're gonna probably test this spire unbalanced volume area here, sitting right here. Again, I got no real good trading opportunity from here right there. If we look at the base of this move, let's go here. right here. There's the base. There's the ABT. 60 doesn't look good though. Like on that one we just mapped out, that would look, everything looked really, really nice. Yeah, see, it's very, very tight here. You're gonna see resistance right back right here, so it just, to me, doesn't make sense. Especially when I'm trying to get 30, 40 points out of the move. So I use this now more for some confirmation on who's going to be in control. If we can get here and reject, then I put some more weight on buyers. But if sellers can pump through this, then we're going to put a lot more weight on the sellers short term. Well, A2 is already at 42, so I think we cracked the 60s for sure. We'll see, we'll see. Nice reaction there. It's exactly what we were just talking about. So I'm taking a look at this blue sky because now you guys got me intrigued. I might want to just purchase an eval just so I can try out the deep charts. But I'm trying to see what accounts the best, makes the most sense. So I see launch, propel, and orbit. Orbit. Let's see what orbit is. Profit goal 3,000, buffer target 3,000, consistency 50%. Payouts above buffer every 3 trading days with 40% consistency. Kind of weird. Payouts available daily, Monday through Friday, above buffer. Above 3,000. Consistency 34% on the evaluation. Not great. Launch. I don't know if it's just me, but the launch seems to be like maybe the best deal. 59 bucks. $100 activation, so it's $159. And I'm assuming that there's no consistency. $2,000. No profit caps, no payout caps. I don't know. Anybody who's been using them, let me know. You guys, for sure. Which account do you recommend? What's? Give me the breakdown. I mean, launch kind of seems like the way to go. Unless I'm missing something here. Daily payouts above the buffer, so you gotta make 3 grand. At launch, drawdowns 2,000, trailing end of day. Okay. So you got a 34% consistency. Okay. I don't know, that seems like the best deal to me. What would I have to type into NinjaTrader to get the footprint indicator you have? So if you go to data, you go to data series, you can just, instead of type minute, you got to move it to volumetric, order flow volumetric, and then that'll get you into the footprint. And then from there, you can do it based off of a range or minute, whatever you want to do it off of. Some frozen charts there. Had a little frozen chart situation right there. Let's see what that could have been. Obviously, we had a lot of volume that we tapped into from the opening bell, but let's see what else might be on the docket. Don't see nothing yet. Again, we got University of Michigan. Oh, here we go. Trump, Iran leaked terms do not match written agreement. True Social. Okay, there we go. So we got the, and Financial Juice is down because I can't. Financial Juice is not doing anything for me right now. But at least they gave me the headline. Did give me this headline up here, but I got nothing else on it. It's so stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Ooh, ATR's at 57 already, and this candle was a doozy, so... So Tiger, since you have experience with the blue sky, if I'm saying it right, or it might be blue ski, what's the best account to get? I mean, for me, just looking at it, the launch, 2-day launch seems to be the best plan. And again, here you get, it's super easy to get in love with a short right now, but this was just headline based. And what was the headline? There was some leaked information that doesn't match to the written agreement. Nobody's seen anything. Nobody's seen the written agreement, so what the fuck we talking about? You bought the funded, instant funded, okay. Oof. Yeah, that's a doozy. $5.99. Yeah, that don't make any sense. You probably got a great deal on... Yeah, that ain't gonna work. A much easier time just passing an eval. Launch 2 days. I think I'll take that in the launch 2-day. Select platform. Let's see if they got deep charts in here. Deep chart, yeah, they do. That's cool. I mean, I think I'm reading this right. Profit goals 3K. I'll put this on here so you guys can take a look and see what I might be missing here. Oh shit. That's not what I wanted to do. So for the plans, I see this launch at 2 days. Profit goal 3,000, consistency 50% on the eval, no problem. I'm assuming this is once you're funded. I don't know what at launch, so that's activation of 99, so it's going to cost me 159. Okay, a little bit more expensive than Lucid, but I'm not doing it for really that. I'm doing it just so mainly I could try out deep trades. Buffer target 3,000, consistency 34%, starting, and then funded. I don't have to worry about funded. No profit caps, no payout caps. Payouts available daily after $3,000, I assume. Okay. I think this looks decent. Looks better than the 3-day and the Orbit 1-day. All right. I'll pick one of these up. Tiger, if you can, send me your affiliate code. What can we just had some nice this was news right here. So again, yeah, see, you gotta get married into that news release, because that looks where they're... No, that's not it. No, the news was over here. This was news. That was news. Yeah, that's why that looks so damn sweet up there. Not gonna fall into that trap. All right, just gotta sit and wait here a little bit. Got a lot more volume at the open than yesterday. Why is my ATR sitting down there? It shouldn't be there. Same thing on this band. I don't really have anything great. I just know that we're going to see a reaction here, but I don't have a great area to really take a trade from. Really kind of looking at fresh price action here and see what might develop that looks interesting. Well, let's see. I'll tell you what the discount is. I'm kind of excited. Maybe I'll be able to mess around with deep charts this weekend. I mainly want to see, I mean, obviously I know I'm probably not going to get all the tools. I don't really need the tools right now. I just kind of want to see like the placing a trade, the order management, how they process their ATMs and all that. I'm curious. This is my affiliate link. All right, let's click on it. Let's close this guy. Visit site. All right, so we're doing launch, right? 50K, volumetrica, 59 bucks. It's still asking me for a for a coupon code, so I would assume that that's your affiliate. Oh, referral ID equals Tiger Trades. Okay, I'll put in here Tiger Trades. Let's see what that works. This coupon code does not exist. I sent you a DM in Discord, Tiger. So I don't know if they're gonna, I mean, I used the link that you sent me, but I don't necessarily know if you're gonna get credit for it. So I think you have to usually put a coupon code or an affiliate code in. But I clicked the link and I'm in the checkout thing, so if you're cool with me just going ahead with the purchase like that, I'll just do this. And hopefully you get the credit for it. Buffer. Of course I need to buy today. Don't you know that I'm impulsive, and once I have something in my head that I have to do it? All right, payment successful. I am officially in the Blue Sky family, or Blue Ski. I think it's got to be Blue Sky because they capitalize the S. So don't remember putting in a password though. All right, so we got that done. Now we can mess around with deep charts over the weekend, hopefully. ATR 65. The chat is right again. Yeah, I think they're great. I think Take Profit Trader is great. I have a what's the best word that I can describe? I have a small conspiracy theory, maybe. I don't know why, but this has just been my personal experience. I've asked maybe the chat a few times on this, and nobody else has had this experience, so maybe it's just me. But for some reason, like if I've got a winning day and I'm up, let's say $250 on all my PAs, my Lucid, my Tradeifys, they're all around that let's say 245 to 250, maybe like a $5 range. I don't know why, but Take Profit seems to always be way different, and it's usually against me than my other accounts that are copy traded in the exact same fashion. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just, you know, I notice it on the bad days and I don't notice it on the good days, or what the purpose or what the scenario might be there. That's just been my personal opinion with it. But I think they're great. They're a great company. They pay quick. I think the rules are pretty fair. You know, the daily payout, I think, was their claim to fame. Oh. And again, I'm only saying that because I've got four different props connected, and if all three of the props are like the exact same P&L, we're all taking the same trade. Why is there like a 20 to 30% discrepancy on P&L? To me, it doesn't make sense. There you go, Tiger. All right, yeah, I'm in. I am in. I just got to figure out how to download deep trades. We can do that later. Gold. Yes. News. Well, thank you. And we got news coming up in 3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes. Michigan sentiment. All right, let's see if we balance out this this little inefficiency in the market right here off of that Trump headline there. Morning, Nate. I will say the most popular option now lately on for Apex purchases have been those 5-packs. So I think that was a good move for Apex to give the flexibility of doing one checkout for 5. I still haven't done it. I should do it because I still have 5. I have four slots open for my PAs. Now the tricky thing is that one thing that I didn't really I should have anticipated, but getting pretty close to actually funding some of these 300K accounts with Apex, which I never really traded with that type of size, but those accounts are very, 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 very healthy in the green. And for those of you to understand what I mean by I don't normally get 300K evaluations. I've pretty much always stuck to 50Ks. I think maybe at one point I had maybe 100 or 150K PA account on the legacy, but this is probably going back maybe 6-7 months. But in general, I just trade the 50Ks. That's what all my funded accounts are 50Ks on Lucid, Tradeify, Apex. But the reason why I purchased, probably going back to January, maybe February. In February, I think is when I made this decision. So what I did was, you guys are seeing I'm trading here on the NQ, and I trade the ES and the NQ. That's what my leader account is. So my leader account is trading off of an Apex 300K eval. And the reason why I chose the 300K is because it obviously gives me the most amount of drawdown. And the only reason why I got it is that it allows me to trade, because all of my fundeds are all trading on micros. But my leader, I want to take my trades from the NQ chart. That's what it's easier for me to see volume. I like the movement better than the MNQ. So I take all my trades from the NQ and it cross trades to the micros. So I take it with one E-mini for my leader account, which is that 300K Apex eval. And then, as you guys know, I traded in groups, so I have staggered kind of account groups that I trade in. And at one point, I had 3 account groups, A, B, and C. Let's just call it. So I had 3 300K evals, one attached to each one. The wrinkle to that strategy was that the first month was a great discount when I got the evals, but every month after that, I've been paying $95 per eval with really not a goal of passing them. That wasn't really my goal. It was really just so I can trade it. So I could trade this because I did get the recommendation just to do sims, to do sim 1, sim 2, sim 3, trade that as a leader. I found that to be a disaster. I found my, not taking a trade there. I just hovered over my preview button. But I found that the sim, the slippage, the order entry was just terrible. So I really run into very little issues when I'm trading on the eval. And Replicanto's frequently asked question in tech support, they say the same thing. They say don't use a sim. You can, but they say don't use it. Use a similar environment to what you're actually trading. So normally this was never a problem because I was always trading on live, and I would always be trading on the NQ or the ES. So for me, it was never really an issue. But now that I've scaled so deep, you know, I think eventually with the new risk to reward that I've been trading with, that I'm really, really loving, most likely once I get to a pretty decent, really decent buffer, then I'll just switch to the E-mini. And then at that point, I could forego the eval entirely. Nice strong movement. All right, we'll take a look at this little area right here. That to me looks like going to be probably our best spot here, which is coming out of this guy right here. Let's take a look at the 60. And let's see what the 60 is showing us. 60, I think, looks a little bit more confused. It does. It does. I don't like the 60, huh? It is kind of like a flip right there. Shit. This is kind of jammed up for me here. Again, what this would look like for me would be something like this, and then something like this. So I'll first show it to you on the candlestick so you can see what it looks like. Oh, that's not the move. That's not the move I'm looking for, even though that looks pretty damn good here too. This is the move I want to map out. So we missed that move. Let's see what we did wrong here. Let's go back to the 120. This looks like the move then here. Is it sitting in between the key levels? No, it's right here. Why can't I see this? Where's that at? Maybe I'm too... Yeah, I must have been too ahead of price action. Okay, so this is the area right here that I'm really interested in. We could take this guy off because I already didn't like him very much. No offense to him. Let's go back here. Let's go back to that golden area right here, and let's see what we see. Right here is our spot. Put him to reaction zone here. Okay, let's verify that this is the area. Yes. Yes, it is. So, this guy. This is the guy I don't like so much here. As you can see, that impulsive move, retracement down, tap into volume, continuation of move. There's your continuation flip. This leaves very little room for what I would consider to be a high probability target. So I'm gonna leave it marked up, but I'm most likely not gonna be taking a trade from that area. unfortunately, because otherwise it looked pretty good. All right, we got another little area brewing here. Of course, we got this key level. We got another key level that we just tapped into. All right, so buyers seem to be in control here. Let's see if we can ride on someone's back here for a little bit. So what does this look like here? Got a key level right below me, got a key level in the middle. I don't like this, and I'll explain to you guys why. So if I go to the 120, you can see where your move here is off of the AVT. We don't have a retracement yet, so I don't have a volume profile tool yet to show you. We might get this right now, but just for illustration purposes. So this is value area low down here. So far, I like everything here, but you know, we've got this key level here, which, you know, again, is not the greatest. I would like to see it like a bounce off that key level would be great. I just don't like this one right here, because what if we come right back and test this liquidity right here? Then we're obviously stopped out of this trade. So that's what I don't like about that particular setup right there. But everything else looks pretty good. Let me see what the 60 is telling us. Right there's the move. Yeah, see the 60 looks cleaner, right? 60 looks a lot more cleaner. Maybe not so clean right there. So this setup would look something like this. Okay. All right, 20 minutes here for initial balance to be set, which initial balance has been kind of tough to trade with this high volatility. We really haven't had any good reversals off of it. We've just had some straight shots right through it. We have had some good retests and goes, but all right, what other target do they have up here? 29,785s. Okay, so we've got something to look forward to up there. Market could want to revisit this guy right here. 29,816 to the 29,785s. It's gonna need to muscle its way through there. And then the ES, let's just see. Okay. ES has got, oh, that's a far ways away, 75.32. I say far, but might only take a couple minutes, a couple candles to get there. And speaking of that, this was news here, so we don't need to worry ourselves with that leg so much. This is the leg that looks the most promising, but I don't like it. And then let's see what the ES, what's the ES done? What's the ES done for me lately? What time was this at? This is at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, let's go look at the ES here real quick. Yes, it does have some, it's gonna have some resistance right there. Kind of a double top up there. Double top right here. Stretch this one down just a little bit. Yeah, it looks sweepy to me. So I've really narrowed this band down to this right here. This does look kind of sweepy up here. I don't know. We'll take a look at it. We'll see if we can get price action up there. What is that sitting at? That's sitting at the 74.48s to about the 44s. Yeah. 48s to the 44s on the ES. $67 on the ATR. It would be the past 28 minutes, Todd, because I'm on a 14 period. 14 by 2, 28, I would assume. I think. And the math sounds right. It's freezing down here. I'm not a huge fan of like playing the Like, I obviously can see unbalanced volume sitting here at the 48s to the 44s, but I'm just not a huge fan of playing extremes like that. This could be very sweepy. This would be a great place for a good liquidation sweep. So, again, not the greatest probability. It is a very small zone, 4 points. You get a 12 range flip in there somewhere. 3 points of risk. Probably target around 7 to 8 points. It's not terrible. I am looking at this little area here on the ABT. Just really would like to avoid being in a key level. If I could. But it doesn't seem like it's cooperating with us too much. Oh, again, 60 doesn't look good either. Alright, let's forego that idea. I wonder why I can't see any. I don't know. I can't see any data on the SpaceX. Thought you'd already be able to see some ticker data. Maybe not. Or maybe my feed. Maybe because of my feed. Don't know. All right, this should be a pretty important spot right here on the NQ here. Let's see if the bulls can still retain this territory here at the 29 544s. That's what I was looking for. SpaceX not open yet. Okay. Because I Googled it. I said, when can you trade SpaceX publicly? It says you can trade it right now with the ticker symbol SPCX. But I thought it wasn't until later on, right? All right, so this is the area that's a little tricky for me. I don't necessarily know if I want to risk a bullet on this trade here. I'm up about 10. I got about 10 bullets in the chamber for the week. I just don't know if this is the best probability play. Oh, I just did that. Why did I do that? Dummy. What about this guy? I don't know. I kind of rating this one like a B-. I think I gotta wait. I think I just gotta wait for what I consider to be a butte. But we'll still track it. Just to excuse me. Sorry about that. Just so we can live in infamy here. We did break some structure here to the downside. Again, I think for me, a true test would be this. If they can get past this here to the downside, then I would say, okay, let's see what the sellers can do. As of right now, just this little move alone is not convincing at all. You know, we did good deleting this area here. Just got a golf invite for tomorrow morning. Pretty excited about that. Seems like it's going to be a great foursome, too. Pretty excited. We've had a shit ton of rain down here, so I think the courses might be super, super wet. I mean, we had like tornado warnings yesterday. But that ain't gonna stop us. That's why we got waterproof shoes. Like I said, the IB hasn't been great to us lately. It's been much better for break and retests. But today could be the day. Or not. We'll see. I mean, this level right now seems to be kind of like the line in the sand here. Even though this is probably where the most volume has been conducted, I would have to say, I don't know. Trying to guess where the point of control would be for the session. If I just had a guess. I got it right yesterday almost to the point. This is where a lot of the... So I would say it's got to be somewhere. It's got to be here, or it's got to be this key level right here at the 29,544. That would be my guess. What am I doing? Not that. So from 830 to current price action. Point of control, yeah. So I was right. I was almost right. But I thought a point of control would be at the 29,304s, and it was pretty much right smack there, just because this is where the most volume is going to be at. But you could see it kind of shifting here, right where this line that I drew right here. You're starting to see a pretty high node form in there as well. I don't need to move that. That was a... Let's get rid of this guy. Who needs a point of control indicator? Good job, Tiger. I have not yet to take a trade. But at the same time, I have not found anything worth. As I say that, we might... Let's just see what else we got brewing up here. Just take a quick scope here. There's some liquidity. I'm going to mark this up here. There is some liquidity that we have not tapped into that they could want to swipe at. They could. All right, ATR has actually dropped off a point here, so I'm starting to see it maybe slow down just a little bit, which... Market's like, what are you talking about, buddy? What you talking about? Slow down. We ain't slowing down. Well, gold respected this band pretty well. It's kind of good to see. In fact, I wasn't looking at it, but this was unbalanced volume right there. That's exactly where we bounced off of. I was not looking at that chart. I'm trying to make myself feel better, Todd. I'm thinking it's a slowdown because we were trading at about 70, so I think 69, 70. I honestly love to see this come down to like in the 40s. What to do. All right, let's just see what here again. This doesn't look phenomenal to me. Alright, well, looks like they reacted pretty well off of that band. Go right back in the range. I don't know. This right here is unbalanced, but they tapped into unbalanced volume, so this is kind of depleted here. Kind of just have to... maybe just... Ooh. Wowzers. Good area. Good area not to take that trade there. I do like that. Like it when a good plan comes together. Now what? Now what? So now what they left unbalanced for me is right here, but again, it's like it's right above this key level. It just doesn't. Be nice if we can get the hell away from here. There's tried here. We absorbed really well. We absorbed again really well. I don't know. I almost feel like this is the zone right here. Big old zone, but that's what it looks like in context here. Unbalanced sweep. I don't like it this either. I don't like that either. I don't like that sweep right there. Let's take a look at this area right here. What does this look like? It's kind of the same spot where we swept. I think this is the one that we were looking at earlier, huh? This is the one that's got this little bugger in the way. This is what I don't like right here. Don't like that. Even though it is a flip. What we got here? 15 points, and this is 25, so we got about 35 points. ATR is 67. Your strength right there. Yeah, I'm not gonna take a long here. Not going to take a long here, but what I am going to do is I want to map this area out, see how this looks on the 60, see if we can maybe get a quick retracement. So it would be right here for just a continuation play to the downside here if we can. I'll go back to the 30. See if we get a flip here. No flip there. That was pretty close to a flip though, because you had so much high delta. I'll flip on the 60. Okay. Let's go. Let's go a little deeper in there. Let's do a little sweep up here. A little flip. Let's take a trade here. Ah! Oh, I missed my entry. That was it. That was it. That was the flip right there. Right there. Completely missed my entry there. You sucker. Took that move was 30 points. Oh, I love this shit. So hopefully you guys saw what I just did there. We've got that nice little bubble right there. Just mapped out the bubble, went to the 60, found the unbalanced volume area in the 60, which was sitting where was it sitting? Where was it sitting? Where the hell did it go? Where was the 60 at? Where's my entry at? Oh, it's got to be over here. Why am I not seeing this right here? Oh, we just swept it up here. That's why I'm not looking at price action there. So just try to find another flip here. This is probably going to be on the 120 now. No. Okay. Oh, that would have been a nice little trade if we would have gotten a good entry there. Or maybe a break-even trade, because I probably would have been targeting at least 40, 50 points here. Oh, trying, people. We're trying. Just trapped a shit ton of sellers, though, for sure. And if you give these guys another chance here, because they probably have stops sitting somewhere right up here, shorts do. So if they give them another chance here, they're going to be in the money. Here they get stopped out, which could trigger a nice little pump to the upside. Right now, these shorts they're sweating it out because they are probably, their break even's probably right here. But if the bulls really want to take this, and you'll probably see a nice little push right up here once we take out these stops. And for me to short here, it's not the highest probability short. See the pump? That was the stops. That's all of these shorts right here. Just getting completely fucking knocked out. Easy to see. Excuse me. Easy to see, hard to trade. Did we finally switch the... Did we finally flip the PLC to up here? That's where I originally thought it was going to either be there or... Where did I say? Somewhere like down here. Right here. I wouldn't be surprised if this flips right over here. I don't know about this IB trade here though, chat. We do have some liquidity sitting right above it. We could sweep it. The shorts are getting beat up pretty good. Okay, dipped in pretty quick to the IB. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down there. Yeah, it's just a lot of liquidity sitting up there. That's tough to trade. Tough to trade. Very difficult to trade. Should see, I would think, a good sized bubble right up here. And this closes right here. Bubble? No bubble. Okay. All right. This is unbalanced right here, so this is their target right now. It's like the last piece of the liquidity that they can go for up here. It's 40 points right there. We're going for the top of that. It's just not. I'm gonna take a little pause here, guys. All right, sorry, I had to get up there a little bit and just take a little breather. I was looking for a long here to the top of this box because I think that's what they want to probably end up sweeping, which I factor to be around 40 to 45 points. But we were consolidating here so much, I didn't want to be too early in on the trade either. They should pop this right here. And then we maybe head right here to the 29,790s. We should see a pop here. And if we pop it, it should be violent. Protecting that high there? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Seriously, what the fuck are we doing here? I don't know, they got me out of sorts right here. They really do. There's no reason for them to take pop the top off right here. And the next logical place for them to discover price is going to be up here in the 790s. Okay, that was the sweep there. What do you think? We reverse here, or we push for the 70s? I should say the 790s. I don't know what the heck it wants to do here. But this is all gone. I don't like the hesitation here. It's now looking kind of dumpy. This is a bit confusing to me here. Because we definitely had a model of continuation. And we also then just had a model of reversal, but we didn't see any of the exhaustion prints that you would normally see. I don't think I've seen anything on the 120. Well, this is a flip up here. I don't know. This is looking dumpy to me, man. I don't know. I don't want to have a bias at all right now, but this is looking kind of dumpy. Like, I think the slingshot should have been this candle right here. So AP, your play at the exhaustion at the 680s, that sounds like a decent, it sounds decent to me. This looks dumpy to me, but let me see if there's any bigger context that we can look at here. No, the next piece of price discovery is for sure right here. That's the only place that the market would want to price discover if we're gonna pump to the upside. But this just doesn't look, this looks very trappy to me. Yeah, right. I mean, I could definitely assume that value area high is going to be up here, but like a classic move would be this price discovery to right here and then come back into the range. I could see that, but this to me right here just looks dumpy. Or it's just a trap where we just get one big power candle and then we go up. I mean, this has got me somewhat confused. Nothing really here to trade just yet. And then what? The best unbalanced area is still right now, right here. And how many times are we going to go into that well? And on the short right there, I wish you the best, man. I wish you the best. I wish I had the gumption to take a trade right here. I just don't. I gotta see something here first. Delta's been fading here. All right, AP, you're in the money, babe. It's 50 points right there. 40 points. Good job, bud. I was rooting for you. I really was. Like you can see with this price action, it's hard to take that trade. For me, you know, the better trade for me personally is here. So now we're in super value area high. This is the next leg of price discovery. I don't feel like the bulls are very strong right now either. And I would anticipate, to be honest with you, if we get a reversal from here, very likely target is just right back to this balanced area right here. Now we got to see just some continuation. Let the market fiercely go up, figure out, all right, this is not an area with light volume. Hit some volume up here and let the sellers come back in. At least that's the short-term game plan. Okay, first bubble there. That's a good amount of volume right there. Sellers are stepping back in. My bones are telling me along here. My bones are all telling me along here, but my area that would be a better fit for a long would be right back down here. That's what my okay. I'd be sweating in that trade right now. I will look for a short though in this area here. As nutty as that might sound with this uptrend that we're in right now. Just to me feels like I don't want to come right back into the range. We know this is unbalanced. Yeah, I definitely carry AP. That's I was trying to figure out what time that was going to be because I've been kind of looking on my chart here to see if anything would come up, but not yet. So you're saying 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 Eastern. Yeah, it's crazy. 10:30, not even a trade yet this morning. Well, we did attempt a trade. Price jumped my entry. Would have been a nice one too. Would have been a real nice short. A little unlucky on that one. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? And I don't necessarily know I want to take a long down here because this has just been sitting and back into this consolidation, which could very much happen once again and then get chopped up. This to me is the best play right now, right here. It seems like the best A+ setup I have to spend a bullet on. All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, so far the plan has kind of come into fruition here. Thought the next price discovery area is going to be this 780, 790s. Come on, what's the hold up here? Let's go. All right, guys. Well, 10:30 has come and gone, and we have not taken a trade, unfortunately. So what I'm gonna do is, I like to always leave you guys with something here on Friday. So I will give away an Apex eval, any size you want. It doesn't include the no activation evals. It's just the, you know, they're new plans you can use, but it's not the one that doesn't have activation included. So, but any size eval that you guys want. I tried my hardest. We did try taking a short. The price action there skipped my order, which would have been a nice little trade there. So let's see. Let's load these comments in here. Be nice if we get the likes up on the stream. Let's see here. Apex eval. No, it's not as good as cash, but I did try my hardest today. Show advanced. Exclude duplicates. Hashtag today is space. Confirm. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's pop this guy up here. All right, good luck. Whatever winner comes up, you've got 2 minutes on the timer to type in the word thanks into the chat. And again, this is going to be for any size eval from Apex. Here we go. All right, Rap H 1549, Raf 1549. You've got 2 minutes starting right now to type in the words thanks into the chat. Raf 1549, thanks. Perfect. Made it very easy on me. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, stay on the chat for a second, and I'll let you know how to get your code here. At Raf. There he is. All right, Raf, just take a look at the comment that I just sent there. Send me an email, and I'll get you over that code. You got it, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in every day. I like the commentary. I like the group of people we got in here. Really, no drama. Nothing on there. Woo! Let's see. There. That was a big spikeroonie. That was a big old spike. I was thinking maybe SpaceX hit or something like that, but I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing there yet. SpaceX 7,446. What is that? I don't know what the hell that means. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it a morning. It's been a good 4 hours of just pure focus here and no trades, but a little frustrating. I wasn't able to put a trade up on the counter here today. Wasn't able to spend any of my bullets, but regardless, the week's been fantastic. I've had a lot of fun trading with you guys this week and look forward to next week. All right, take care, everyone.